Today we will be painting Ivory, just like the Tusks that you see right here. I wanted them to be as realistic as possible, so I took a lot of inspiration from pictures of real Tusks online. Especially the lines running through the ivory gave me quite a challenge and made me retry a couple of times. But enough about my failures, let's get painting. Starting with our base coat, we use Thondia Brown. As you can probably tell, I am using a second layer. This will make sure that the entire primer is covered. Or in my case, my first attempt which failed. We use a white brush for this to make painting a lot faster and smoother, as we want to cover the entire tusk. Once the base coat is dried, we use the same brush to apply a wash of Nuln oil. This will make the tusks a lot darker near the skin of the beast. Now it is time to really get started. The first layer of paint will be Gotha Brown. I have already painted the other tusk as an example. We create this with fine strokes of the brush running down, approximately 5 mm from the base of the tusks. I recommend using a fine brush that you have full control over. Be sure to wet your brush to make the paint spread out smoother as well. Keep in mind that not every line has to be the exact same length or thickness. We want to make it a zigzag pattern with deep cuts. We continue with the same technique, this time using Steel Legion Drab as our paint. I once again already painted the other tusks as a reference point. Do not leave as much space in between this layer and the previous one as you did with the base coat. Instead, it will act more as a sort of highlight, but with the Gotha Brown still visible. Try and make the colors blend together as a sort of gradient. Also, make sure that you paint the rest of the tusk in the same color with every layer that we paint, so that the previous layer is completely covered. For the third layer, we use Ushba Tibone. This color is a lot brighter than the brown so far, and will act as a sort of secondary base coat for actual ivory colors. Once again, we apply thin strokes with the brush as we have been doing for the past 2 steps. This time, however, leave a bit of space again between this layer and the previous one. Up next is Flayed One Flesh. This is pretty similar to Ushba Tibone, but a little bit lighter, making it ideal as a highlight. For that reason, do not leave too much space between the previous layer. Just like we did with the Steel Legion Drab, try and make them blend together again. Now it is time for the final layer, and that is with Pallid Witch Flesh. This off-white color will really give it that ivory look that we want to achieve. Just like we have been doing for the past 4 steps, continue with the downward strokes. This time, however, apply this technique over the entire tusk, not just at the start of the previous layer. This way, the Flayed One Flesh will shine through here and there, giving the ivory some depth. Something that you might want to try, which I wish that I did, is using this technique during previous layers too, which should create even more depth, making it even more realistic. I am still pleased with the outcome of mine, however, so it is completely up to you. And there we have it, the ivory is now finished. I hope that this tutorial was useful to you. If it was, please let me know by leaving a comment or a like. See you all next time!